In this video, I'm going to show you how to graph an equation in two variables. And to graph an equation in two variables means to plot all the points whose x and y coordinates make the equation a true statement. So again, if we don't recognize the equation and we don't know how to graph it, the best approach is to pick some points. So which values of x and y will make this equation a true statement? Well, we can just play with this equation. We know that 1 times 12 is equal to 12. We know 2 times 6 is equal to 12. We know 3 times 4 is equal to 12. We know 4 times 3 is equal to 12. We know 6 times 2 equals to 12. 12 times 1 equals to 12. We also know that same will be true for -1 if both factors are negative, right, etc. And now, knowing this, which isn't much, we can start picking x and y values which make this a true statement. So for example, if y is 12, then x has to be 3, because 3 minus 2 makes the factor on the left equal to 1, and 1 times 12 is 12. So by doing this, we can just pick y value and find the appropriate x value. So if y is 6, then x has to be 4. If y is 4, then x has to be 5. If y is 3, then x has to be 6. If y is 2, then x has to be 8. And if y is 1, then x has to be 14. So that gives us the following points. So we have at 3, 12, 3, 4, 4. At 3 it's 12, at 4 it's 6, at 5 it's 4, at 6 it's 3, at 8 it's 2, and at 14 it's 1. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 1. So that gives us this shape. So what happens to the left of, well, on the left side of this graph? To figure that out, we just have to pick more points with negative values. So let's plug in y -12. So if y is -12, then x has to be 1. If y is -6, then x has to be 0. If y is -4, then x has to be -1. If y is -3, then x has to be -2. If y is -2, then x has to be -4. If y is -1, then x has to be -1. So -12. So -10. So that gives us more points. So at 1 it's 12 or -12. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's somewhere below. At 0 it's -6. At -1 it's -4. At -2 it's -3. At -4 it's -2. At -10, so if we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, at -10 is going to be -1. So that's the pattern. So this is how much we can do without knowing too much about this type of functions. Of course, it takes a little bit more effort to realize that this graph has actually asymptotes, and the asymptotes are at x equal 2. So there's a vertical asymptote, and there's an asymptote the y-axis. So y-axis is the horizontal asymptote, and its equation is y equals 0. So this is a complete graph of this equation in two variables.